The Lobster War was one of the great conflicts of the 20th century, right up there with the Great War Part 2 and the Great War on Ice. And as always, the French lose. In 1961, French fishermen were fishing for lobsters off the coast of Mauritania, which at the time had just been given independence from France. And these fishermen were like, le fuck me, these are some magnifique lobsters, but I wonder if those Brazilians have good lobster too? Napoleon the baguette croissant. And so they set off for Brazil and began fishing for lobsters 160 kilometers off the coast of Brazil. Then the Brazilian fishermen were all like, this is impossible. Our government must do something. I hope no one from Brazil fucking heard that, please. Enter Admiral Arnoldo Toscano. Bringing with him 2 corvettes, he demanded that the French go back to their frogland. So they left, and the French responded by sending a destroyer, to which the Brazilians went and put their entire fleet on a state of alert. At the same time, the Brazilian foreign minister released a statement. I'm not going to do the accent again. The attitude of France is inadmissible, and our government will not retreat. The lobster will not be caught. That's a real statement, by the way. Having a meeting with his assistants, they reviewed what was unfolding. At the same time, on the other side of the Atlantic, Charles de Gaulle decided to dispatch a destroyer, but eventually withdrew in an attempt to ease the developing tensions. Given the backing down of the French warship, the Brazilians demanded that all French ships be out of their waters in 48 hours. The ones that did not leave were seized, and tensions continued to rise till in April of 1963 both nations considered declaring war. Now the French claim was that they could fish for lobsters because they swim. As if they swam, that meant that they could be fished for by any international vessel. The Brazilians, however, claimed that they clung to the bottom of the ocean like oysters. I mean, it seems to me that Brazil is right, but the French wouldn't let it go. So then the Brazilians, get this, claimed that since the French believed that the jumping of lobsters constituted swimming, the French must therefore accept the Brazilians' claim that when kangaroos jump, they are in fact flying and therefore are birds. No! And thus ends the Great Lobster War of 1961 to 1963. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. I actually really enjoyed writing this one, and I only found out about this war when my mate brought it up. As always, subscribe to the channel. I know it doesn't really help you, but it helps me a ton. Ring the bell for notifications, like and comment with any suggestions you might have. If you're on TIL, please check out my YouTube, and if you're on YouTube, please check out my TIL vids. Links are in the description along with my social medias, and as always, I will see you next week, babies.